Hey everyone, what's going on? Greg here again from Team Blast. I want to talk about Locksmith local SEO. I have a client that's in Colorado. I've grown their account from 6.61% of the time on page one to now 20% for the keyword locksmith. That's leading to more high quality impressions, website clicks, and most importantly for their business, phone calls that are high quality leads that they're getting now in the radius that they service. So if you're a locksmith company and you're trying to get more customers and calls, then this video is for you. Plus, also, if you're any local business, I think you'll find value. Anyway, so to start, I use Local Falcon. And again, every time I run a heat map scan, it actually saves the cache version of every trend. So I can share this with my clients. But also, this helps me know exactly how my strategy is working. There's always going to be ebbs and flows that take place, but you're looking for consistent growth. So you can see back in December, 6.1% of the time. Now in October, we are at 20%. Again, that's why they're getting more high quality leads to their business. This is the heat map from a before and after. It's a little hard to understand what you're looking at, so I'll explain. Google only displays the top three organic map pack listings on page one. So dots one, two, and three, those are the dark green dots. That means you're on page one. If you're position four, you're actually technically the first loser because you're not on page one. So the reason why I share this is that my client might say, hey, I service a 6 mile radius. Because, if you're a locksmith and let's see, if you go past that, you might only get to a handful of jobs in a given day because you're traveling so much to different locations. So if you want to keep really close to where your location is, you can do multiple jobs in one day. You can obviously get paid more, and you're able to complete more projects rather than driving across town. So they're getting a lot more calls now in the general area that they focus on, which is great, and I can see that within the heat map. So this is what I do. So to start, when I run Local Falcon scans, I actually go into the competitor tab report. I can see every company that is competing against my client. This is important. For the locksmith industry, there's a lot of spam. So there's fake profiles, there's duplicate profiles, there are keyword stuffing, there's businesses running out of home addresses, which is against the quality guidelines. There are fake reviews. There's so many things that happen with specifically with the locksmith industry. So I'm able to see every company that's here, but most importantly, I'm able to see who's ranking at the top, and I'm going to focus on them. This is what I do next. I drill into the dot that is most important for my client. So I'll make up a hypothetical. I have a client in New York City. Maybe they'll tell me, hey, Greg, we really want to rank in the Bronx, New York, specifically around Yankee Stadium. So I will then run the heat map scan, and then I'll actually click on the dot that is right above Yankee Stadium. And when I click on that, I actually get to this view over here. It will show me, and I've already redacted these competitors, but I can see every competitor who's ranking specifically at that coordinate. So then I take that URL and I throw it into ChatGPT. So from here, I'm able to do some initial analysis and say, okay, got it. These are the top competitors I need to focus on. Here's what they're doing right. Here's what maybe they could be doing better, which is important because, again, I'm trying to think of what are the gaps. I always talk about the gaps and how you want to overtake your competitors. This is kind of what I do. So I use Local Falcon. I get the baseline. I look at the rankings. I look at the top competitors. And then I look at the screenshot. It's a cache version. I click on that dot. And I'm able to see within ChatGPT who I need to focus on next. So what else? And also, by the way, with ChatGPT, I'm going to make a future video about this because I know I went over that pretty quick. But just want to kind of explain more of what I've done in this video. But I'll make a future video though about the ChatGPT stuff in more detail. So what else? So I've added photos. So my client's great. They're always taking photos of them, getting into doors, into locks, into safes, doing commercial locksmith projects, residential, everything like that. Photos are, I believe, a dwell time ranking factor. More time you spend on the Google business profile, I believe, will help it ranks. Next, they get reviews. They are awesome. When they complete a project, whether it's a QR code or however they're getting the reviews, they're getting a lot of reviews. And most importantly, they're responding to the reviews. So again, engagement factor number 2, photos 1, reviews 2. Next, I've been adding pages to their website about the services that they provide. Now, I will say for the locksmith industry, the website really isn't a qualified lead driver. Most people aren't filling out a form, but the website needs to connect directly into the Google business profile, so I see value there. For other industries, like maybe like an HVAC or like a roofing contractor, the website actually is pretty important. But for a locksmith, if I lock myself out of my car, I need to get in. I don't need to read about someone's website. I have to call someone and get them to come over to get me in. Next, run regular local Falcon scans, which is important, and then keep expanding your keyword list. So hypothetically, if you're like, I can't rank better than 5% for the term locksmith, well, then I would recommend to then update those scans to say like locksmith near me, locksmith plus city name. You could do things like commercial locksmith, residential locksmith. Keep expanding your list, see where your niche is, and then really focus on that. Try to get leads from there. Next, so with the locksmith industry, there's so much spam. I've never worked with an industry with more spam than the locksmith industry. So my client who I talked to, we talk about this quite a bit. There's so many fake profiles. There's duplicate profiles. There's businesses running out of home addresses, which is against quality guidelines. There's a bunch of a lot of companies that all link out to the same website. Let's just say, and there's keyword stuffing. There's so much that's happening. So you have to keep an eye on this because Google will probably approve of these listings, but they can't constantly just police and understand, oh, like this might look suspicious. You have to suggest an edit if you've come across these egregious tactics. Because if you don't do that, they're going to actually take share away from your business. And then essentially it becomes kind of like the Wild West, where you might look at that and say, okay, well, I have a legitimate locksmith industry, locksmith business at a location, and my competitors have 6 different profiles. If the 6 different profiles were always winning, then they would say, I'm going to add another 6. Now I have 12 versus this person has 1. You can have an idea how it's an unfair advantage. So you have to keep an eye on that, and you have to report that to Google because otherwise it's going to take share away from your business and you're probably not getting any leads. And of course, there's so much more in local SEO than just what I went over. But I hope this is kind of like a starting point. My main takeaway, I think, with this video, why I really wanted to record this is 2 things. One, it does take time to rank better. So it's not instantaneous. I mentioned for the locksmith industry, there's a lot of spam. Some industries like maybe if you're in a dentist in a small town, there might not be as much competition. But for the locksmith industry, we're talking 100, 200 competitors plus that could be like in a 6 to 8 mile radius. There's just so much competition here. But if you stay with the process, you add the photos, you get the reviews, you do the local Falcon scans, you make the website changes, you do updates, you should start to see a slow but steady increase in your share, which then should lead to more, as I said, qualified phone calls, website clicks, and leads for your business. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and as always, have a good rest of your day.